article. It was just a combination of all of it. It was just like when after her deposition and the request got turned down and she started speaking her mind more, um, I saw that there wasn't a whole lot of clarity. And I was just like, oh dear. But then when you realize like she's not asking for the conservatorship to end, she just wants to revise it and just and remove her dad, then you're just like, oh, okay.
That for me, that was the thing. For me, when I found out that she didn't want to end the conservatorship, she just wanted to get her dad off of it. A part of me was like, oh, you are crazy,
Or
and
I
you
mean,
know it.
maybe it's a situation. I mean, speaking of naivete, maybe it's a situation where she thinks that she has to be under this conservatorship, and so just because she has to be, she doesn't want her dad involved. Maybe she
Okay,
does want it ended, but
okay.
the one thing that is very clear is that she wants her dad removed. I mean,
Mm.
technically, her dad is making more money than she is a month, and it's still her money. She's pulling in the money, but he's controlling the finances, and he's paying himself more than he's paying her.
It looks like Kessler's keeping the race via the
Ain't
old
that a
examiner
bitch?
building. Gonna be a bitch getting to it though. 78 seconds.
So what's the plan?
I've got a canister of fentanyl rigged to the bottom of the chopper. Should incapacitate everyone inside.
Look, there's
Wow.
someone.
Kessler's got anti-air guns on the
All right,
surrounding buildings.
fentanyl.
They'll tear me apart long before
All
I
right,
get to
so
position.
we need to
7
talk
seconds.
about your
So I take
roommate
the guns, you gas those
and
guys,
how his
and we go and
girlfriend,
get the sphere.
because
Exactly.
weirdly enough, like
Only get one shot at
my
this.
videos
So get over there and
kind
destroy
of
those guns.
chronicle when she came into the picture, because the night she lost her tooth was was one of the first times she had been over to the house like
You're not pinning this on me.
consistently.
I already have.
And so
Wow, the
the
timing.
timing, right? So that was maybe 3 weeks ago. Not quite a month, for sure. Not quite a month.
No, it has not been a month. Not a month at all.
But she has
Not for,
definitely
like,
begun. I don't want to sound racist, but fuck them crackers.
to annoy me.
I would say that she's gotten comfortable in a way that black people tend to. Black people only do this. What she's done to you, because it ain't to him, because he's okay with it, because he likes it. Black people only do shit like this to people they don't. They either feel like they can get away with it with, or people they feel like they can beat up. Black folks do not like get comfortable in your house. They just don't. They don't just come in your house and take their shoes off, go on your refrigerator, nothing like that. Black folks just don't do that.
No, not unless it's a rule.
Yeah,
I need to hit him with some real power.
it's like John said.
And even then, it's terrible foot odor.
When somebody tells you to come in and make yourself at home, they don't mean go in the refrigerator and make yourself something to eat. They mean, sit down and shut the hell up. Cause that's what it means here. If you ever come here and I'm like, make yourself at home, that basically means sit down somewhere and don't start touching shit. Like, it don't mean shit else. Like, you are not like welcome to the fridge. You can go to the bathroom, but ask, can you go to the bathroom? Like, don't start opening drawers. Cause making yourself at home means you can go like in the hallway closet and shit. Anyway, bro, go ahead and like pick up. Where did we leave off? I guess is the real
I
question.
don't know.
Oh, that's so much better.
I switched
That's so much better.
because I was sick of the delay. That was getting annoying because on my end we just kept talking over each other.
What was the last thing? Oh, well, the
Is
last
there
thing.
still a delay?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, I can't tell if there's a delay.
Blah, see, I said that. Ah.
The fuck?
I'm trying to figure it out.
The last time they, like the last video that they were involved in, she had lost her tooth. Like it was that night.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like the last time, like they were around, like the last time we
was I on the phone with you? Oh, I was on the phone with you when the tooth thing happened.
Yeah, like,
I did not remember that.
That got recorded. Like that got recorded. That's in a video.
Oh my gosh, I did not remember that. Dude, that was so early on. That's ridiculous.
It wasn't really that early on though.
And that was literally in the first week they knew each other.
Okay, so like, so I've more or less like captured a good chunk of it. Like,
been here the whole time.
Yeah. And it's been less than a month, and they've already started fucking up.
Yeah, that was a Thursday night. That was a Thursday night. The first time they had hung out was that previous Sunday. Like, that was legitimately 4 days of them knowing each other. And then, you know, the next day was her dad's funeral. And then a few days after that was the 64 different voice clips that I sent you. Where they were both like, we've only known each other for 10 days. Yeah, 10 days, and we're not in a relationship. No, we're not. But I like you.
They liked each other a lot. Like, they liked each other a whole lot. Like,
after 10 days.
Yeah. But the reason they liked each other so much was mostly because they were both tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I realized kind of like part of the reason he definitely like doesn't want to let her go. She does things for him.
For him, yeah. Butt stuff, actually.
Yeah. Like, she comes in, and if she spends the night here, she washes his sheets. She will do his laundry.
How?
She cooks food for him.
Better wipe that up, boy.
She's... Oh, I swear to God. They gonna be married, living in student housing. But she ain't moving in here. And again, it's not that I hate the girl. I don't hate her.
Just strongly dislike her.
Yeah, she annoys me. You've heard her voice. It's annoying.
She's white. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, she has a white voice.
Child. She is a child.
She's 23.
She's 23, but she acts like a child. She speaks like a child. She has the naivete of a white girl child. Like, it's annoying.
The naivety. He didn't say the eye and the tail. In case anybody was wondering why this girl has a tail. She doesn't have an eye and a tail. Well, she has eyes.
I said...
Naivete.
What did I say?
Naivete.
I said the naivete.
Yeah,
she has the naivete.
The eyes and the tail of a child, yeah. Suck my cock. Suck my cock.
I had to turn all the lights off.
Okay.
And open the shade so I can see when they get back because it's the long story.
He tells his stories best in the dark.
But it's gonna be weird if they walk in and I am just sitting there in the dark. So, if we pick up where the tooth fell out, that seems like so long ago though. Then like after that they had that fight um, where they admitted to each other that they liked each other. And then the next day, I confronted him because earlier that day he had told me he didn't like her. Um,
Like a
and then that's
fucking,
yeah.
like a boy.
And then earlier, when he said he didn't like her, like he tried to pull that whole "well, feelings change" crap on me, and I was like, in 9 hours, feelings change in 9 hours. Um, and so I tried to tell him, the two of you are a hot mess and you shouldn't be together. I did try to tell him. That's what I told him. And he was like, "Well, I like her," and I was like, "Yeah, but."
He said that. He
Ew.
said that shit like it meant something to you. Like
Yeah.
you were the reason that they weren't like able to be together. Well, I like her, Dad. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And then he didn't understand what I meant by hot mess, and so I had to like relay what had happened the night before, about how he called her out of her name many times. She was on him about being immature and not wanting to raise or fix another man. Um, and I was like, you kept telling her to leave, and she didn't leave. And then he dropped the line, well, good, because she was drunk. But she drunkenly got herself here. She could have drunkenly got herself home because they weren't together that night. He didn't call her over. She just showed up. But after that, I didn't see her for a couple of days. And then the following Wednesday, and Wednesday is important, he tells me, "Hey, I don't think you're going to have to worry about seeing her because she told me she loved me." And I was just like, all right. And I haven't heard from her since then. And I was just like, sure, okay. 2 days later, they were at a music festival in Chicago. Um, then they came back. Huh?
Talking to. Don't worry about it. It's nothing.
Uh, they came back on Saturday. Uh, she was here Saturday, all day Sunday, left Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon, when she left, I had to sit him down and have a good talk with him, which we had standing up, and told him, I don't give a crap. You know how I feel, but she does not live here. And he was like, what do you mean? I mean, she does not live here because she gets too comfortable too quick. Like, this girl had literally been here all day for pretty much 2 days. And she was like using dishes and not putting them in the sink, which was driving me up the wall. And then I left an example to show to him. And then I didn't see her again. I didn't see her again for the rest of the week until this past weekend. Again, this past Friday, when he went to another festival, but this one was in town. And he said his friend had gotten him tickets to go to that festival. Now, before he went to this festival, earlier in the day, his motorcycle had crapped out on him. And for people who don't know, he wrecked his car a few months ago. It's literally just sitting in the parking lot, undrivable. He's been using his motorcycle to get to and from work, and then his motorcycle crapped out on him. He was on the side of the highway for hours, waiting for his friend who drives a tow truck to come and pick him up. Then he had to pay the tow truck. Tow trucks typically cost at least $100. So he came home and he was freaking out. Then the light fixture in his bathroom died. And he didn't tell me in time so that I could call maintenance to come fix it. So when I got home, his light fixture was just dead and maintenance was closed. And so I was like, okay, well, let's just flip some electric, the fuse box. So I was
Breakers.
flipping the fuses, yeah, the breaker. And I flipped the one to his room because I didn't know which one went to his bathroom. So I flipped the one to his room, and it wouldn't come back on. So I just cut the power to his room. And so I went to his door
I'm not laughing
and I
at
went,
that, but
hey, no,
I'm
I
laughing
went,
at
hey, did I just kill your room? And he just went, yeah. And I went,
that. All right.
okay. It wouldn't come back on, so I just sat down in the living room and I was like, well, I'll just sit here until it becomes a problem for him. So I did. I sat there until he came out of his room. And then he came out of his room and he was just like super anxious and he was like, hey, can you please give me a ride to the gas station because I'm freaking out and I need a drink. And I was like, what? What are you freaking out about? So it was the bike stuff and he was worried about getting to work. And then he was like, his friend had this ticket, and the concert was supposed to start in an hour, and he had been calling his friend, and he hadn't answered, and he was like, he won't answer the phone, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're going or not, and it's just like really freaking me out, and I need, I need something to calm my nerves. I tried to take a nap, but then the power went out, and I
want to point out real quick.
So I added
you
to his
left.
stress.
You actively left the fucking power in his room off, and it like
Yes.
led to this.
At least the race fears.
Yeah.
You being an ass.
Well, I knocked on the door and I asked him, and he was just like, "Yeah." He didn't say, "Are we gonna fix it or anything?" I was like, "No, just let him sit in the dark until he gets to it." So it got to him, and he was like, well, first off, like the first thing I wanted to do was to actually fix the fuse problem. So I just went into his room and like unplugged some crap, and then fixed and flipped the switch again, and it came back on. So then he got a I don't even know what it was. It was a bottle of something. And we played Smash until his friend called him and was like, "Hey, I'm outside." 15 minutes after the concert started. So he leaves, and I'm just in here, and like not even an hour later. Oh, within like the 30 minutes before his friend called, he killed the entire bottle. Like the whole bottle was just gone. It was I think it was vodka, and he just drank it straight.
Ugh.
Water. He thought it was water.
Oh yeah, to him
It was water,
definitely.
but he kept drinking. But he realized it wasn't water because he kept on drinking.
So
Oh, I need some water. Oh, that's not water. Oh, but I can drink it anyway.
that sounds about right. So
Sounds about right.
he goes to the concert. I'm just in here. Not even like 30 minutes later, he calls me, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a ride from downtown?" And I was like,
No.
"What happened to your friend?" And he was like, and then I heard him say, "Hey," and he was talking to some girl, and he said some words, and then he hung up the phone, and I was just like, "All right." So I went about my life. Then 30 minutes later, I hear a rustling at the door, and I open the door, and he's standing there, and she's with him, and I'm like, what? In my head, I'm like, what? Um,
For
and
the
they
sake
come
of
in.
for the sake of argument, let's gonna say we're gonna say her name is Ashley, because it's the whitest name I can think of
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah, her name's Ashley. Sure.
All of this has been for
Or Patchy.
Or potassium.
So they walk in. The vodka has hit him by this point,
The whole
and
bottle, it hit him before this time.
you, fat man.
and he looks at her and he goes, "Hey, tell him what happened." And she looks at me and she goes, "He got kicked out for being too drunk." And I look at her and I'm like, "It's not the first time it's happened." So I don't think I even told you like the story of him the 4th of July. He went to an amusement park and got kicked out of the amusement park within 5 minutes of walking into the amusement park because he was too drunk, and spent the next 9 hours just on the bus alone while his coworkers enjoyed themselves in the amusement park. But that's another story for another day.
You just told it.
So, yeah, right, for real. So they come inside, and he's being extra stupid because he's drunk, and you can hear her just like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you being this way? Stop it!" Yeah, and she's just putting up with it.
He was trying to put his finger on her butt. That's what it was.
No. She was trying to stick her finger in his butt.
And he wasn't letting her, and she didn't get wild.
He kept clinking.
You don't know how much of that is partly true. That's another story for another day. So they end up leaving. This Friday night, they end up leaving. Like you know, you know.
Man carried a picture of Trish in his wallet, telling people she was the daughter he never had.
It was so early in the day that it was still daylight outside, basically. So they left. I didn't see him again until yesterday. He was gone all night Friday, all day Saturday. Showed up yesterday. Now, why did he show up yesterday? Well, he had Friday off of work. He had Saturday off of work. He did not have Sunday off of work. Did he go to work? No. He comes. Well, again, I hear rustling at the door, and I open the door. I just peeked out because I looked out the peephole. I saw it was him. I peeked out and I said, "Where's your key?" And he was like, "I don't know. I can't find it." And I closed the door. And then I heard her on the other side of the door going, "He has it. It's in his bag. He just can't find it." And so I just opened the door and I was like, yeah.
You're finding it.
So, well, the thing is, I heard him while he was digging his bag. He went, "Why is everything wet?" And I was just like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that." So I opened the door, and he comes in, and he goes, "They're making me go to work." Like, first, he walked in wearing some freaking loungewear, like he'd been on the beach. And then he says they're making him go to work. So I said, "Well,
That's what they pay you to do.
did you have to?"
Nobody,
I was like,
nobody's
"Well, did you?"
making you go to work.
No. I said, "Well, did you have to go to work today?" And he was like, "Yeah, 4 hours ago." I was like,
I heard him whisper.
Well, that's
all right then.
what kind of privilege he got that still let him go to work?
Dude, you don't even know. So he comes in, and He goes to his room. He's upset about the fact that he got called into work.
This was all last night. For anybody not.
Yeah, this is all last night.
August the 8th.
He's upset about the fact that he has to go to work. It is, what time is it? It's close to 6. He's normally supposed to be at work at either 1:30 or 2:30. It's close to 6 o'clock. And so he goes to his, and I'm like, oh, so you're taking him to work today? And she's like, yeah. They called him and somebody wouldn't cover his shift. And he comes out of his room not wearing a shirt. And he just sits down on the couch and he turns on Smash. And he just starts playing Smash Bros. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, man, I called my boss and I asked him where he was, and he was like, I'm in DC. So I said, F you, and hung up. And then I called my other boss, and he was like, I got the day off. And so I just hung up on him. And then Marin won't work for me, and I told her that if she worked for me today, I will work for her tomorrow, and it's our half price night. It's the busiest night of the week, but she won't do it. She just walks out.
That's because she knew you was fucking lying. She knew you was fucking lying when you said that shit.
Yeah, because today was his day. Today was originally supposed to be his day off too.
And he was not going in on the day off. You won't go in on your day on. You know damn well you ain't going in on your day off.
So he's upset that no one will cover for him. He's upset that they called him in, right? So there was a situation where, like, this girl, Patchy, she has an extra car, right?
Notion.
And,
Hold up. I want to say real quick, the game's over. I just beat it. Like so it perfectly wrapped up at 35 episodes. Your bro's gonna finish this story while the credits roll, and if he's not done by the time the credits roll, he's gonna keep talking while I do nothing and just listen because I don't want to fucking play this game no more. So yeah, go ahead.
So she has an extra car, and it's an older, rundown car. And while they were together, earlier yesterday, they were supposed to test out the car, to see if it was still running, so that he can use the car. They've been together for less than a month, and she's just giving him a car to use to go to work.
That's because she's white.
Yeah, 100%. So when they try to get into the car and start the car up, they cannot. Why can they not start the car up? Because it has a breathalyzer in it. Because she let her ex-boyfriend use the car, and her ex-boyfriend had to have a breathalyzer. So he blows into the breathalyzer and the car won't start. Why they let that dumb idiot blow into the breathalyzer knowing he had been drinking all day, thinking, oh yeah, it'll be fine, let's start the car.
Again, just keep in mind, with that being said, she's clearly retarded too.
Yeah, because she was obviously much more sober than he was, and she just let him do it. But they blew into the breathalyzer and the car wouldn't start. So they had to call the police, and the police show up and they're like, hey, can you remove the breathalyzer? And the police are like, no. And they're like, why not? And the police are like, because you're drunk? And he's like, no, I'm not.
If y'all didn't know they was white, hold on. If y'all didn't know that at least one of them was white before now, one of them going, why not, to the police? Yeah, you knew they was white then.
Yeah. So.
Believe that they were drunk when they asked why not.
Yeah. And the police are like, there's a camera in it. We saw you blow into the thing. And he's like, oh, well, it's not even my breathalyzer. And she's like, yeah, it's not our breathalyzer. It's my ex-boyfriend's. So can you remove it?
I love how
And the
she's
police are
co-signing
like,
everything.
no, it's not. No, we're not gonna take it out. And the thing is like he has an issue with police, but like I've told you before, luckily he can kind of pass, so they can't really tell what he is. So he was like, I almost got arrested today in Rutherford County. I can't get arrested there. I just got off probation, 3 years. And I'm like, okay. You also have to go to court next month and could end up back in jail, but whatever. So he's sitting on the couch playing Smash, telling me this story, and she goes to the bathroom, and he's just like, right now, like, she's the only bright spot I have in my life. And he's like he's like justifying this to me because he knows how I feel about them being together. And so he's like, she's the only bright spot in my life. And I'm like, F you, I'm a bright spot. And he was like, you are a bright spot, but she's giving me that car, man. And I was just like, okay. All right, that's how you justify it. Sure, go on.
My thoughts would be
That giving them some ass.
Kessler and the race sphere were
Yeah,
gone, my
yeah.
life would go back to normal.
So
Now I understand
she
that
comes out of the bathroom, and she's like, "Hey, are you going to work?" And he's like, "Yeah, in a minute."
Hold up.
The day I die.
He's missing out on the part where, like, she just went to go piss.
How long will
She was
that
pissing with the
last?
door open.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, she
if
just
this
left the
time
door
they
open.
expect me to be there for them and I'm not? I don't even know who to trust. Moy
Now,
is
personally,
still-
I'm
Because
into that.
there's no light in the bathroom.
I don't know what to think. I've never
It
been
happened
more
because
alone.
you let it happen, man. That's all I gotta say.
Again, I'm into it, but like, don't do that. Like, there's limits.
If I walk by the bathroom and she's sitting on the toilet butt naked, that's her fault.
Yeah, if she ball
If no one made her feel violated but herself.
Yeah, but seeing
So-
as how I've only known you less than 30 days, I'll be pissing with my door open.
Yeah.
He don't care.
That's again, she gets comfortable real quick. And I was that within the first week of her being
That's
around.
way too comfortable.
So
You in there
'Cause
taking
it's-
the whole shit with the door open.
Because it's not a matter of like you're like we're dating and you're peeing around me with the door open. You're peeing around because I told you this yesterday. Even if she thought you were gay, like it's still not a matter of like, well, you know, you don't mind because you don't even like. First off, if I'm gay, I don't want to see female ass or anything, but I don't want this. Like this, I don't want this. This is a private moment for you that I don't want to be privy to under any circumstance. It's like her coming into your room being like, hey, does this thing on my titty look weird? And she just snatch a titty out and just like, don't do that. Just don't do that.
she got none. But so she comes out of the bathroom and she asks him if he's going to work while he's playing Smash.
Didn't even wash her hands. She just got up from the toilet.
Yeah, she waddled on out.
Do you
So
wobble wobble?
You hear it squishing.
at the same time,
You can hear it squishing with every step she took, huh?
at the same time, I was working on the boards, the pictures that I sent you. And Jordan, I don't know if you know this, but she's a preschool teacher.
Why?
Right? So she started talking to me about the board and about like the job that I'm trying to get. Meanwhile, he's like getting ready to go to work. And so while talking to her, I realized like, oh, this girl has ambitions. She has goals in life. Meanwhile, him on the other hand, had none.
Hold on.
Literally
Remember what we
none.
said. Women love trying to fix up an ain't shit nigga.
Yeah. So
I'm not giving her
he's
credit for
getting
having
ready.
goals. I'm not giving her credit for having goals.
I'm not giving her credit for it. I'm not giving her credit for it either. I'm just like, girl, run. Like, please just find somebody else stupid, but in a different household, not this one, because I can't deal with it anymore. But she's like talking to me, and he ends up going and taking a shower. He comes out of the bathroom and he steps into his room and he doesn't see her. And then the next thing I hear is, baby, baby, baby. And he comes walking down the hall in nothing but a towel. And he sees her sitting in here and he's like, oh, I thought you left. And then she's like, are you getting ready to go to work or not? He's like, yeah. So he goes to his room, he gets dressed, and we're still talking. And he walks out, and I look at him, and I'm just like, is this what you're wearing to work? And he looks at her, and he goes, are we going to eat Chinese food with your family or what? And both of us looked at him, and we're like, I thought you were going to work. And he just goes, man, F them. And he just went and sat down on the couch. So she originally had plans to eat dinner with her family after she took him to work. He delayed her plans by a whole hour by coming in here and not getting ready immediately, and then changing his mind. And so he ended up going to eat dinner with her family. But before they left, he turned on Star Wars, and he fast forwarded to a scene that he really loves. And he sat there and he watched that scene as she texted her mom to let her know that plans had changed and that they were on their way. Now, when she got up, she was like, okay, let's go. He's like, hold on, this is the best part. And he's watching it, and she's like, we have to go. And so he turns the movie off, and he's like, I just turned Star Wars off for you. Like, if that doesn't let you know that I care about you. And on their way out the door, he's like, wait, should I wear my glasses? And she's like, oh my God, yes. And so she's like, oh, I gotta pee again. And so she runs to the bathroom and she pees, door wide open again. And he's like, oh, you're doing it with the door open? And she's like, what? It's dark. So she's peeing again. He's putting his glasses on.
The light in his bathroom is broken.
Yeah.
It would be different. It would be different. I'm just saying it would be different if she was too dumb to turn the light on. Because it
holds the same way. My little janky phone lights up my entire room.
I
ain't trying to, and it's the biggest room in the house, so I know what it can do.
So here's the thing. Here was her excuse. He has a desk lamp in there, and it's some weird sliding light. And so she sits down, and he's like, "Oh, you're doing it with the door open?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's dark in here, and I can't work the lamp." So yeah, she's too dumb to turn the light off. So they come out. He has his glasses on. He's like, "Yeah, it'll make me look like a nerd. It'll make me look more respectable."
Stan, smart. Stan, look at me smart.
He just finna just shit on people with glasses. Bro,
oh yeah.
You should have hit him in the throat, dog. For me.
So they're walking out the door. My favorite part of this whole situation. They're walking out the door, and she's talking about her family, and she walks outside, and then he stops and he's like, "Wait, where are my keys?" And he turns around, and the door closes as she just continues to walk without him. And so he goes back to his room and grabs his keys, and then he leaves. I don't see them again. For a couple of hours, because he messaged me before they even got here. And before that point, I was already just like holed up in my room. And they showed up, and you could tell that like he was still drunk. And they were just having stupid conversations, which I was recording through the door.
He was.
I was sending him to him. Because I need people to bear witness. I told you this. I need people to bear witness. So I'm sending these conversations. This goes on for what? Maybe like an hour. What happened? They had multiple conversations. The two dummies, they took a shower together in the dark bathroom.
Yeah, they were, and they are in love. They are as in dumb love as you can get.
Yeah.
He asked her what.
They were just.
Children, cover your ears. She took a shit with the door open, and he asked her what would she do. What would she do if he?
Oh yeah, that's why I started recording to begin with, because I heard him saying that. She was in the bathroom pooping, and he walked, and he was like, "What would you do if I just stuck you right now?" And I was just like, "All right, let's break out the recorder. This is gonna get good."
I'm not gonna pretend like I ain't gonna pretend like that didn't make sense to me. Yeah, I didn't know what that meant. I thought stuck meant like fuck. Like, what if I just like?
I thought stuck meant like getting punched in the face.
That's what he meant.
Yeah, that's what he meant. Yeah. So.
For that lingo, ain't he?
No,
he's 29.
He's 29.
Yeah. So.
I said 21.
I started recording their conversations underneath the door. Found out that my phone can do a cool thing. So there came a point where they had like they had gone into his room after the shower, and they closed the door, and I was like, all right, that's it for the night. Then at one point they came back out, and there was a slight argument about like how many people she had slept with or something. I'm not sure. So I started recording it again, right?
Wrong.
Then about 9 minutes into the recording, I heard him go, "Oh!" And I was like, huh, that was weird. And then I heard him go, "I need to go to the hospital. Will you take me to the hospital?" And she didn't respond. And I was like, oh, is he joking? And then I heard him call my name. And he goes, will you take me to the hospital? And I was like, wait, what's going on? So I waited a minute, because I didn't want them to know that I was just listening at the door. And then I came out, and he was just in here on the floor, hunched over, clutching his chest. And I was like, oh crap, he was serious. And so I walk up to him, and he's like, I need to go to the hospital. You take me to the hospital.
Now I wanna like, all jokes aside, I did tell your bro to kick him when he was on the ground. Your bro sent me a picture of the boy laying on the floor.
It is exactly what I would do. I would kick someone while they were down.
And I just straight up said kick him. Like, just kick him because he needed to be kicked. Like, for no other reason than, yeah, kick him.
Well, in this situation, I was completely calm. I literally just walked up to him and I said, "Are you dying?" And he was like, oh, "I can't. Like everything's numb. I can't feel my chest." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Do you want to go to the hospital?" He's like, "Yes." And so she's in the kitchen, and she
Have a
walks out,
glass
and
of
she's like,
cognac.
"Wait, what?" And she walks towards him, and I think I'm gonna get vulgar. You
Okay.
gotta do it. Oh god, this is hard.
This idiot.
No,
My
she
pussy.
walks towards him, and he goes, "Get away from me, you stupid fucking bitch! I'm in here dying, and you're just gonna let me die." And she was just shocked.
There was no other. Yeah, you had to say that. I mean,
Yeah, because
we
you
need to
stupid
feel
F and B would not have had the same sting.
No, nope, not at all. He knows.
Hold on,
So-
hold on. I want everybody to understand when your bro told me about this part last night, he didn't give me that performance. Jordan was the first person I thought. Jordan was the first person I thought about with the whole like she's just standing there. Like Jordan would have been like, "Yeah, you got to get out. Like you can't come around here no more." Like I was dying. Like you can't come around here no more. Like nah, you out.
She's like confused about what's happening, and she's like starting to freak out. And she's like, "What? I didn't know you were serious." And he's just on the floor.
He's on the ground. He's on the ground. Okay, no, I refuse. I fucking refuse. Because hold on, like here's what it is. He said, "I need you to take me to the hospital." She didn't say shit. He screams, "Jabril, help!" And like you're like, all right, I guess I gotta go in there and figure out what this is about. And then like you go in there and it's like, "Do you need to go to the hospital for real?" And she's like, "Oh, what? What? Like, bitch, no you didn't. No you didn't. You did not wait for somebody else to come help me just to pretend like you didn't know what was going on. You don't even live here."
Okay.
Wait.
He ain't gonna not dismiss him.
What you mean?
I don't feel that he'll dismiss over that.
Oh, no. I mean, no.
Let me finish. So, he's on the floor. She's like starting to panic, and I'm like, "Okay, well, can you get up?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna have to call the ambulance." And he's like, "Okay, call 911."
I can't fucking
So-
carry him to the car.
I go, no, he's large. He's
Wait,
about the same height as me.
Wait.
Oh, he is?
Oh, is he? Well, that is
He-
not. Send me
looks
a
so
picture of this man because I know he's gonna look so different
Dude,
from what I've been
no.
imagining all this time.
I saw a picture of him laying on the ground, and I seriously was like, oh, okay.
You gotta send me a picture because I gotta know what he looked like. And by the way, just to kind of skip ahead a little bit, is he alright?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna
Okay,
get so much
this dumb
worse.
motherfucker.
It's gonna get so much
Like,
worse.
because I wouldn't feel right him going through that. Because I
And being
understand
dead and
how,
all.
Yeah, how scary that can be, and he having, I really would have honestly
Here-
felt that.
So
As
if
somebody-
you check the chat, and you will
As
see the
somebody-
picture that I sent Martin.
As somebody who has definitely felt like they've had heart problems before, like, for him to call her a bitch or be mad at all, yeah, he wasn't doing that bad.
Okay, so he ain't far off from what I thought. He's a little lighter,
Yeah, oh, yeah, he...
but yeah, he's just as skinny.
Yeah,
I
that's
expected
what
him to be-
I told you guys he can pass.
Yeah, when I saw that picture, I was like, wow, that boy is pale. He is pale. The only thing that gives him away is his hair.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, we gotta get his shoes. And so I walked to his room, and she's like following me, and she's just in there. She's like, "What do we do?" And I'm like, "Get his shoes." And so I go back out, and she comes out with his freaking tennis shoes, and I'm like, "No, get his flip flops. You can't put tennis shoes on right now." And she's like, I can't find the other flip flop. And so she runs back into the room. And I stepped outside and I legit called 911. And I was like, yeah, my roommate's dying. And they were like, what? And so I stepped inside and she has him, like, at this point, he's in that position that he's in now and, like, taking his shirt off. And I looked at his feet and I went, oh, good, you found the other flip flop. And I was like, I said, can you breathe? And he was like, yeah, but like not a lot. And so I stepped back outside and the person on 911 was like, well, how old is he? 29. Has he taken any drugs or anything at all? And I was like,
It's possible.
Don't know. And I stepped back inside and I was like, okay, are you sure you want them to come? And he's like, no, it's okay, I'm fine. And I literally, like, I held this conversation, like, with the person on 911. I was like, you're fine. And the operator was like, he's fine? And I was like, he says he's fine. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. And so I was like, okay, I guess we don't. And she's like, are you sure? I will send the paramedics. I was like, no, he says he's fine. And she's like, okay, if anything else happens, then, like, just call and we'll send somebody. I was like, all right, thanks.
Even if they just come out to check you, they'll still charge you.
Yeah, that is literally the reason I didn't do it, because the boy ain't got no money already, and I was like, he can't afford this ambulance bill. So, he's lying on the floor, and she's like hovering over him, and she's like, what do you need? And she's like, what do you need? And he's like, I need some alcohol. And she's like, I don't have any alcohol. Do you have any Xanax? Do you have any Xanax? And he's like, yeah, I do have the Xanax. It's in my room. Can you go get it? And she runs to his room. And I'm like, the last thing you need is Xanax. And he's like, no, I need it. And so she comes back out of his room. And she's like, I can't find it. Oh my gosh. I was about to get vulgar again. He's like, okay, then can you go get me a beer? And then he looks at me and he's like, can you get the Xanax? Because this dumb fucking bitch can't do anything. And she just looks at me. And I'm like, eh? So she's like, I'm not gonna get you the Xanax. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get the beer. And so I look at her and I'm like, okay, do you have your keys? And she's like, yeah. Do you have your wallet? Yeah. All right, go on. And he's just on the floor. And then she walks outside, and then she just pops back in and she goes, can you get the Xanax for him? I can't find it. And I'm like, sure. So she leaves. She leaves. And so while he's down on the floor, I'm like, all right, give me your arm. And so I check his pulse. I checked his breathing. It was all stable, because I've got 17 seasons of Grey's Anatomy under my belt.
Get the fuck
out. I gave him an ice pack.
He didn't have a finger on nothing. He was just holding his wrist.
I need 7 milligrams of epi. Stop.
He had 2 fingers on his own goddamn neck.
Why am I getting 2 pulses? So I gave him the ice pack. I went to my room and I grabbed some aspirin. I gave him the aspirin. Why did I give him the aspirin? Because there is a literal story about Little Richard saving his own life after he had a heart attack by taking aspirin and turning the air conditioning on. So I gave him some aspirin, and then I made him drink some water. Now, while he's on the floor, he is realizing that he's having a panic attack. And so while he's down there, he's trying to just, like,
become
reassure himself. Yeah, he's trying to reassure himself that everything is fine. And he's down there and he's like, why is this happening? Like, my wife is fine. I have a good life. Like, I think I sent you the one that he was talking. It was well after. And he was like, get the second job, pay off my debt, buy a house. I don't want a family, or maybe I do want a family. I buy a house. Then what? And I almost lost it. I was sitting at the table just staring at him, just repeat this to himself, and I would have broken a lesser person that night, basically. But he's on the floor, like reassuring himself. I've done all of this stuff to calm him down, and she comes back with the beer, and he's still like hollering for the Xanax. And so I actually went and looked for it, and I was like, I don't know what a Xanax looks like, but here you go. And so she has the bag of pills. There are 2 green pills and 1 little white speck. And when she's looking at it, she goes, "This is Molly." Oh no, wait, this is Xanax. So she pulls out the white speck and she gives it to him. And then he cracks a freaking White Claw. And he was like, "Oh, it's White Claw." And she goes, "Yeah, I knew you would want a White Claw. Because he's extra white. He loves White Claw." So he's on the floor drinking the White Claw. She had been cooking a pizza in the oven, and the timer went off. And when the timer went off, she did not move. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to let this dumb hoe burn this pizza. So
How long, y'all?
I took the pizza out of the oven.
Yeah, hold up. Your brother called this girl a dumb hoe so many times via text. He has referred to her as a dumb hoe more than he's referred to her by name, and I know her name. So he could call her by name, but he doesn't. He refers to her as this dumb hoe.
That dumb hoe, this dumb hoe. That hoe over there who is dumb.
I don't know how dumb, well, I know how dumb she is, but I don't know how much of a hoe she might be. But I can guarantee y'all, like, he's doing it out of spite at this point. Because she lost, like,
yeah, because she left the glass out.
And it's all because of a fucking cup. Like, she left the cup out one of the earliest times she came over, and it just has rubbed your brother the wrong way ever since. It has pissed him off to no end. And I don't know if it's because, like, you know that she knows better, or if it's, like, the implied, or if it's the implication that you'll take care of it that is bothering you.
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It is a little bit of both. Yeah.
Okay.
So he takes the pill, he drinks the White Claw, and he manages to sit up. And she's like, "Hey, do you want some of this pizza?" So she cuts the pizza.
Oh, is that what he was
eating? And he starts eating the pizza. Yes.
Okay.
You might remember more of what was being said than I would. If
I didn't listen
you
to
want
every
to,
message.
because I was just kind of sitting in disbelief that like any of this stuff was happening, where like he was sitting on the floor, just back against the couch, shirtless, eating a pizza, drinking a White Claw, and she's sitting there and she's like, "You just had a massive or severe anxiety attack. You should really think about seeing a psychiatrist." And he's like, "What kind of pill did you give me? Was it a Xanabar or was it a GG?" He asked her this like 3 times in different intervals of time. He asked her the same question, and she just had that look that someone has after they're tired of repeating themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, I think it was a GG. And he was like, "Oh, well, it's hidden."
What's a GG?
So I have no idea. No idea at all.
Don't know why I asked. All right.
So they sit there. They start talking about like all of the things that's happened to him in his life and why he might have high anxiety.
Yeah, I
You
remember
know,
that.
the times he's been robbed at gunpoint, the times he's been put in jail, threatened to be killed by one of his friends, um, all of
Y'all,
that.
yeah.
But then he settled on. I think it's these glasses though. But he was like, she's like, yeah, I think you need to talk to someone, or you need to get some better sleep. And he's like, I can't sleep. Like I do sleep, but I just keep dreaming, and it's like I'm awake, so I don't get rest. Like I never sleep. And he was like, I have to get like blackout drunk to even sleep. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't
No, you
have
don't.
to. You prefer to.
Yeah, you like it.
Um, yeah. And at some point,
So
she
so
was
this
like,
con somehow this conversation managed to go to, you know, we taking anxiety and sex things to the extreme because everybody has fucking anxiety. You stupid fucking boy. Everybody's
yeah.
got anxiety.
At some well, when he was down on the floor, he told me, he flat out said, I think I have a problem with drugs and alcohol. And I was like, yeah, you
Oh,
do.
did
Yeah,
you?
you do. And he was like, you could take me to rehab tomorrow. Like I don't care. I just need the alcohol tonight. And I went, did rehab work the other times? Because he's been more than once. And he goes, it did for a minute. And I was like, yeah. Well, then what's the point? Um, and then at another point while they were talking, she was like, "Why don't we just quit drugs? Like we can do it together." And he was like, "No." She's like, "We'll quit drugs and drinking." He's like, "No, I'll never stop drinking." I was like, okay.
You know the biggest problem that I have with this whole thing is that throughout this long conversation, getting called a stupid fucking bitch, finding drugs and
Yeah,
alcohol.
yeah,
Hold on,
yeah.
this jackass was literally sitting here with his chest pounding and his body going numb, and we ain't make a single doctor's appointment or going to the hospital.
Well, he ain't got no
Nope.
insurance.
That shit,
Yes, he does.
didn't happen for that didn't happen for nothing. That happened for a reason.
Oh, no, but here's the thing. Even she was like, yeah, your body was telling you, you know, like that there's something wrong. And he was like, yeah, okay.
I think I hate
Um,
her.
and no, yeah, because my whole problem was he was like, I'm sorry I called you all those names. And she just goes, it's okay.
I
You were having a
understand.
severe anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, leave! Run! Run for the hills, you dumb hoe! But
She
no,
wants to fix
no,
him.
she
That's
sat, yes! And again,
After-
in that argument that they had weeks ago, she sat there repeating time after time, I can't fix another
grown
man.
man.
I can't fix another man. And yet, here she is. Now, the thing that set me off, like the thing that pissed me off about this whole situation, because I found it funny for a while after the fact. Like when they were just sitting and they were talking, it became very comical to me. The thing that pissed me off was that he straight up looked at her and said, "You saved my life."
Wow. See? Maybe next time you listen to me when I say keep on saying.
He won't. But you know, there's that.
Nobody would have ever said that. And you would have definitely got your props, man. But you know.
No, at one point he repeated it again. He walked into the kitchen. He said, "You saved my life," and then he turned around and he went, "You saved my life too." I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Although another thing I did notice was that after they were done with the pizza, he fully washed the dishes because he knew that if she left the dishes in there, I was gonna fly off the handle.
It's still bugging me that even with everything that you said after I done said what I said, nobody still made an appointment to go to the doctor.
Oh, you know what's funny? You know what is very funny?
For some strange reason, we think that our heart getting ready to pop is just gonna that shit's gonna magically fucking go away after
Oh
we
my
done
gosh.
stopped doing the shit that we done done. No.
I don't know if you got the Martin, if you got the part where she was like, we just need to stop doing so much Molly. It's like messing with our brains. And she was like,
Yeah, I got I got parts of
every
it.
few
Yeah.
years your body like refreshes itself. So we should just stop doing so much Molly and then we'll be fine. Like, no, you dumb hoe, it's permanent damage. Permanent. It says permanent for a reason. But
Your body just doesn't do shit like that, which has you literally flat on your ass. It was so severe.
I would like to point out, like,
it doesn't do that shit for nothing.
The drugs most likely had
This
nothing
is
to do
gonna happen
with
again.
what happened to him.
This is gonna happen again. No, you know what? I'm pretty
No.
sure it contributed to what happened to him.
it helped the situation, but no, his own stress. It all got to it.
Yeah, because he
all
stressed
the years
himself
of
out.
drinking and drug using attributed to that shit. Because I could get stressed out now when that shit won't happen to me, and I'm obese. No, it's all that bullshit you're doing.
I'm
that
trying to figure
attributed
out
to that
where.
shit. My point is, this shit's gonna happen again. If you don't go to the hospital, this
And
is
the question
gonna happen
is,
again.
because I kept telling Martin last night, I was just like, she is literally sitting here justifying everything he's saying.
Everything, yes.
She's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
She is going to kill him. He is gonna die.
Yeah. That's the thing that's bugging me, because that's the future I'm seeing, is him not having one.
So they were talking, like, she apparently was supposed to, when I earlier he sent me a message and he said, the message was like, can you forge a document for me? And so I come out and I'm like, what do you need? And he was like, I need this doctor's note. And I was like, I'm not gonna forge a doctor's note. Like, I can't forge a doctor's note. And turns out it was for her, because she was supposed to go to a doctor's appointment that day to have a required physical, but she didn't. She decided to stay here. I walked out, and he's sitting on the couch playing Smash, and she's just lying down with her legs draped across him, got a full freaking meal in there cooking, having not gone to the doctor, and they're asking me to forge the doctor's note. I was like, no, it's not going to happen.
Come on, man, you're cool.
So before I left, like, and this is when I was messaging you earlier, because I ran to the store, and before I left, he starts to complain about how her mom said he was stupid.
And
like,
okay,
after dinner,
what am I going from Beetlejuice say? How'd you guess?
After dinner, her mom was talking to, I guess, like her brother or something, and then her brother told her. And he's on the couch, and he's like, your mom doesn't even know me. How can she even, like, gauge my level of intelligence? I can't believe she called me stupid. And in my head, I'm just thinking, you showed up to dinner drunk. You showed up to your first time meeting her parents absolutely wasted. And you thought wearing glasses was going to cover it up.
Was a dummy.
Yeah.
Now here's the problem I had with that.
Midnight.
It's after midnight.
He has to go to work tomorrow.
I'm still having the same problem, that we're still having plenty of conversation, but ain't nobody talking about a fucking doctor.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not gonna go to the doctor. He's from the street. He's from the street culture of life. If it is not actively paining him right now, he's not gonna do anything about it. Because he's been to the doctor many a time, but that was just, his balls were actively expanding, and he's like, I need to go to the ER. And I was like, all right, I'll take you to the ER. Yeah, turns out he just had a really bad kidney infection. And that put him out of commission for months.
Okay, so here's my thing. Her mom calling him stupid he's under the impression like, well, how can she
That he's not.
say that? How can she say that? And she doesn't even know me. I was like, well,
And then what does this dumb hoe say? Oh, it's just my mom. She's one of the most judgmental people I know.
and the
Like, are you
problem with
kidding?
my problem with that was like, well, she called you stupid, probably because of who you showed up with. Like, it's a good
She
chance.
knows her daughter.
Yeah, she knows who her daughter is, and she knows how her daughter
I
rolls.
said that. Ain't that what I said? Ain't that what I said? Ain't that what I said? The same thing I said.
And so, and like the fucked up thing is like, but you are dumb. Like, you are dumb. Wearing glasses does not actually make you smart, Francine. That's not how that works. It's like,
The
dude.
science bitches couldn't make my friend more.
That's more smarter.
Jeez.
No, when he was asking me about the doctor's note, I was like, you don't need me to make a friggin' fake doctor's note. He's like, oh, I guess I can just sign it. And then and then he goes, Dr. Mantis Toboggan. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Oh man. Yeah, he's mentally diminished. Like,
What did I tell you? He's emotional, like he's stunted. His maturity level was stunted. That's the end of the story. I might have more. He's supposed to go to work tomorrow. They were supposed to handle that car situation. Problem is that they were both drinking before they left the house. Who knows if they actually got the cops to take the doohickey off. I guess I'll see him tomorrow. We'll see if he goes to work tomorrow, or if he even has a job tomorrow. You know, stuff like that.
so if you've watched this hour and 12-minute long video and you found yourself like, I am enthralled by this, I want to know everything. Tune in to God of War, I think Chains of Olympus, because that's the next game that I'm going to be playing because the year's almost over and I haven't played a God of War game yet. And that's the rule. Play one per year until there aren't anymore. At that point, I'll probably just stop doing the channel. But yeah, there was an easier way to do that, wasn't there?
Bring Brittany.
Again, with caution, because we're
Yes.
still not 100%.
mucho caution.
Yes, the answer was yes. There was a much easier way to get up here. Oh, I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb. Not as, I mean, but not as dumb as this dumb motherfucker.
Dumb hoe.
This stupid fucking bitch. Yeah. Until next time.
He's beyond slow.
We out here. Peace.